कर दिया हूँ। Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. So, am I audible, Mike?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So, let's wait for people to join and then we may start. Mm, I can see people joining. Let's see. Okay, guys, can you give me a quick confirmation if you're able to hear me out? You're able to see me? You're able to see me and Mike clearly? You're able to hear our voice? Just give a quick confirmation. We'll just start the session in another 2 minutes. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, Bhupati. Hello, everyone. Hello, Anil. Yes, able to see you both and here. Okay, Akeem. Hello. Perfect. Great. So I'm live in both YouTube and LinkedIn. And today, first of all, we will go ahead and talk about the agendas and all. So yes, all good. Hello, Krish Bhaiya. Yeah, hi, Motivation Station. Um, I'm working as an Azure and GCP data engineer. Want to switch, but nowadays JD is required. Yes, obviously it is required nowadays. Everything they are asking right now, So AI has just become a part of each and everything right now. Okay, so definitely it is required. Perfect. Mike, is anything like okay? You have started the video, right? Okay, no worries.
Yes, yeah.
I think you can mute that, Mike. I think your
Are
desktop
you
is
using
on.
some
I
background
guess.
noise?
I guess so. Is anything opened in your monitor or something? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Now it's fine, Mike. Now you can come. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Now I think you're audible. Mike, you can unmute yourself now. I think it's all good.
I hope now it's fine, right, sir?
Yeah. So let's first of all talk about the agenda, Mike, and then we'll probably discuss more things as we go ahead.
Sure. So, welcome everyone. As you know, we have been having multiple sessions on big data from last 2 weeks. We have done projects. We have done multiple intro to many concepts which we will be studying in big data. Along with that, of course, we are coming up with a end-to-end course which is going to start on Saturday, that is day after tomorrow, for big data. Now, today's session, like in this, we will be discussing common questions which we got from many people. And of course, we have Chris as well. So that any question is there, we will make sure that we will be clearing that out. So everyone has a better idea regarding the overall, I would say, career or the job market. How can you make or future prospects basically in the field of big data and related fields. So yeah, that's the main thing, sir.
Yeah, and I think, Mayank, if you also want to share the course that we are coming up from this particular Saturday, along with all the information. So guys, on this 21st, we are coming up with this complete big data engineering bootcamp, and this entire bootcamp will be live for 6 months, where we are going to cover multiple cloud platforms like GCP, AWS, and all. So further details will be shared by Mayank.
So everyone, I'm also sharing the link. Everything majorly is mentioned in this. Why I will also answer the questions. So deep dive, this is for 5 to 7 months. Again, the syllabus is a lot. We will make sure that each and everything is covered. So along with clouds and the basic concepts of big data, it will take around 5 months. I've shared the link, everyone, and this is the syllabus exact. So sharing that as well, and feel free to download that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can also call on the number, the counseling team, and we will make sure that we are able to help you. And along with that, if anyone has any doubt, any suggestions, anything, please reach out, and we will be more than happy to help you with whatever resources and everything we have.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, let me just talk more about this specific course. This course is designed in such a way that you will definitely be able to clear any job interviews, specifically in any companies. We have brainstormed a lot of time in deciding what kind of syllabus we should really have. Here we have also put some syllabus with respect to Hadoop and all, which many people say is that, hey, nowadays we really need to focus on Spark. But what we have done is that we have put up almost each and everything in this specific syllabus, so that you get the complete idea. Because as you all know, like I, Mayank, or anyone who's specifically coming in my channel, we discuss things from completely from basics till the advanced stage, so that tomorrow you go with respect to any interviews, you should be able to crack any jobs. So that is the main aim out there. So that is the reason we have kept this entire in-depth syllabus. Now many people will also be asking, Krish, what about the Udemy courses? See guys, there will be 3 to 4 Udemy courses that will be coming up. So this live class includes all the syllabus of that 3 to 4 Udemy courses over here. Again, for Udemy, it will take time for recording. So mostly in February month, we will be launching that. So that is the reason we really wanted to start this particular live batch, so that you get a complete hands-on experience with respect to that. The classes will be between 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. IST every Saturday and Sunday. And Mayank will be your main instructor over there. I will also be coming to take some of the sessions like data pipelines and all. The prerequisite of this particular batch is Python and MySQL, which you can actually follow my YouTube playlist or Mayank's playlist with respect to Python. And from there, you can actually complete that. But at the end of the day, we really want to focus on things that are important for a big data engineer, so that you will be able to clear jobs anywhere that you go ahead. So that is the main agenda behind that. Now you can probably go ahead and ask any questions, any simple questions. Anyhow, we have also kept all the counseling team numbers in the description of this particular video. You can go ahead and check it out. And at the end of the day, ask them. Like, see, the counselor is not for selling the courses. It is just to understand what specific problem statement or what role you are actually looking for based on your previous experience, or what's your interest on. And based on that, we will be guiding you with free resources, content, and if required, we can also provide you specific courses for that. Okay, so it is up to you. uh, it's a lifetime access. No, this entire dashboard will be given as an access for 1.5 years. That is 1.5 year. uh, Coupon code krish10 you can specifically use for 10% discount. Okay, so I think you can apply a coupon. Just see whether it is getting applied.
Yes, sir,
And
it's not
still,
getting applied.
if you are having any concerns with respect to coupon code, with respect to any questions, you can definitely go ahead and ask our counseling team. Yeah, perfect, great. So, any other questions? Please do let me know. So, okay, let's pick up the first question: how big data connects with web development, data science, and other IT domain. Mike, would you like to probably take this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sure. Sir, can we have
Arjun
the
Krishna says Krish 20. It says it's no longer valid. Arjun, just try to contact our counseling team. They will help you out with all those things. Okay.
Krish 10 is
And
actually working, Arjuna, so you can just try that.
otherwise, still you have any concerns, you can just call the counseling team. They will
Yeah.
help you out. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead,
Yes, sir.
Mike.
What was the question again? I was just changing the
First
links.
question in our agenda, right? How big data connects with web
Okay.
development, data science, and other IT domain? You can probably share your screen, write it in notes,
Hmm.
and probably discuss about it.
Yes, yes, sure. Cool. So everyone, let's take this question. Let me write that down as well. Let me clear all this. 1 minute. Just making some awesome project. Cool. So yeah, let's discuss that how big data falls into all these other domains like web development, data science, data analytics. So let's take this. Normally, what happens? Every company is dealing with some data, right? That isn't true for any company. Like if you take even Zomato, Flipkart, any domain, data is basically which is at the heart of everything. That's why you will see, right? The courses are data structures and algorithm, data science, big data, data engineering. Now there are multiple ways through which we have to deal with data, right? One way is to make sure that we are able to store our data. That means basically we have to work on the data in a way that it is optimally stored, available for everyone, and we have to make these pipelines, right? Again, this work will be something which is done at backend. So you will never see, say, Swiggy, Zomato, or Amazon, that how their data is flowing, that how exactly is it kept in the backend, how exactly are they showing you that. So when you search for Apple, they are showing you iPhone, not in fruit, right? So that is something which all falls in the domain of data, big data, data engineering, data analytics, data science, and all those making the user experience better. It majorly falls on the backend. If you will have this idea, right? Like in the backend, everything is happening. Now, from this, once we are handling the data, right? This data, let's say it is stored in some DBs as well. And again, it's a very simplified explanation based a lot on my experience, and of course have taught that all these things as well. One is used as backend to, in a way, engine all the things, right? So from your suggestions to how you will see the results and everything. And when you will be using this to actually show the results, to make your web apps, right? To make your phone apps, basically the mobile application, then web application or websites. All this is where your web development and, let's say, mobile or app developments comes into the picture. So big data in a way is the pre-step which you have to do, because data comes to you in a very messy form, right? It is very messy. It may be across multiple domains, multiple DBs. You have to get that all into the company structure, company database, or in the company environment. And then we have multiple things which all are derived from software development only. One is data engineering, right? So software development or software engineering. One is to make sure that you can handle this data. Second is how to show this data. Third, maybe that how you are applying machine learnings, right? So machine learning engineer, how are you applying multiple concepts to make your results better. So this is the whole pipeline or whole way through which your tech industry is getting powered. Again, a simplified form, but yes, this is, I think, help you to clear it. So any company, it can still happen that it is not using ML. And again, 10 years back, maybe very less companies were using ML and data science. But this data handling, moving the data, storing it in an optimal form, showing it the way we want, all this is something which every company has to handle. And this is where a big data now falls in, because now data is increasing a lot in volume. So we have to make sure that we know how to handle them. So yeah, I think that is majorly that should clear it, everyone. Let me know if anyone has any doubt in that. But this is where your big data falls into the picture.
Mike, would you also like to give an idea with respect to data pipeline, why it is important specifically for data science?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, sure. Just I was just checking if anyone has any question. Let me give that idea as well. Great. So let's now discuss, everyone, that how it falls into your data science or overall the pipeline, sir, thing which sir was mentioning. So let's say you are as a person here, okay, and you are an aspiring data scientist, For data scientist, you need the data, right? How will you get that? In your working, someone will either provide you, or you can go to Kaggle and download the data from there, right? Now let's think that in a company setting, who is Kaggle for you? Like who is providing you with that data? Okay. Majorly when you will join, your manager will say that, hey, get the data from this DB in the company. And it can be a NoSQL, HDFS, any DB, like where data is stored, any SSD as well, like doesn't matter to us. But if someone understands the way data is finally reaching to this database, there is where all these pipelines, the work of a data engineer or your cloud data engineer, big data engineer, all these things come into picture. Okay. Now, any company, it is not handling the data directly. Like data is not coming from a single source. Okay, it is always coming from multiple sources. For as an example, and in multiple types as well. Let's take a very example of Swiggy. It has data for restaurants, will be stored somewhere else, coming from somewhere else. It has customers data. Then it has your riders data. These are the three major components. Then you have reviews, like how people are doing the reviews. Then all the delivery information, each and every second when it gets updated, right? That rider is moving from 9 minutes, your time is now 7 minutes. All these things are spread across different DBs, different locations. So, as a data engineer, your work is to make sure that you can create these pipelines. Okay, and I think I explained that in the previous session as well. You can again think of this data sources as well, river, groundwater, pipeline as the actual pipeline through which you will connect the source, and your destination is going to be these DBs from which finally your data scientist, data analytics, your CEO, he can see that, okay, exactly what is happening. Because if you ask them to directly connect to, say, Google Drive, they will spend more time in cleaning that data, making sense of that data, than they will do in making the decisions. So this is where this whole part, creating these pipelines, like again we have multiple technologies here, it is not a generic like pipeline like this. We need big data engineers. Okay, so just I will show you one more thing. So if you all remember, 1 minute, let me try to open that. So I will show you one of the pipelines from projects which we are planning. So see, like this is the pipeline. Okay, this will give you a very good idea. We have a data sources here. Now this data I'm first getting into my system as a raw data. Then we work on this data. Like, see, data majorly you do two things: storing and processing. Using Spark, that is via Databricks, we can also include some other data, very akin to adding minerals to your water. As simple as that. And these are your river, well, everything. And finally, you will be storing some clean water. Okay, so water now has been transformed. And then let's say in one final step, or majorly, you will make sure that everyone gets the data. So if your data analytics guy, data science guy, your developers, everyone will majorly be working on this clean data to show you the result which you see. And along with that, any other transformation. So this is not just one transformation you will do, there will be multiple transformations. As an example, the way water is reaching to you is not the same as Bisleri is packing their water. So again, same source, same data, different working on that, or different processing, and different final audience and working on the same. So I hope this overall gives you a very good idea that where the data engineering or overall this work with respect to data gets into a company. If anyone has any doubt, let me know. And do ask your questions. I think sir is also answering that. So meanwhile, I will clean that, like clear all them out. I think, sir, from a question endpoint, this is done. Maybe we can just move on to the next question, or if any major question is there in the like chat.
So guys, see, overall, if I talk about big data, right, it is probably used in every, probably every field, whether you're working in some e-commerce application to probably retail, where actually data is required, right? At the first of all, our first step is basically to create a data pipeline so that a web developer or a data scientist can be specifically be able to use those kind of data itself, right? So that is the reason why we specifically create data pipeline wherein we ingest the data, we do some kind of transformation, and we save it in some kind of database itself, right? Without that, I don't think so, it is very difficult for any projects to probably start. Um, and as already Mayank has told the examples about e-commerce deliveries, right? Like let's say Zomato is there and all, right? How live location is basically captured, each and everything, right? So it is a kind of a core work backbone of the entire infrastructure that is probably running, application which is specifically running the backend. Without the big data engineering team, without the data pipelines that they have created, it is not going to work that much efficiently. So I hope everybody is able to get that, probably all those kind of information, right? So making a career transition from non-technical roles to big data, let's pick up this question, Mike. Let's
Sure.
go there.
So, everyone, if you have any doubt in the first question, just ask in the chat and I will solve that. Now, let's take on another question, which again is very, very important. Okay, so I will write down the question here so that is also visible. It is making, okay, let me just increase the size. Yeah, making a career shift from non technical to big data. And I think many students have reached out who have joined this course as well. So let us first understand that when you say non-technical, right, you are of course working on some data one way or other. You might be into the process where you are getting some work done. Maybe you are a project manager. I normally feel that data analytics also fall on the non-technical side only, as you are using tools like majorly SQL, Excel. Depending on company now, few things can be there, but yes, you are not writing hardcode code. So one thing to understand is that big data is a technical field, right? You will be working on the data, and that you will be working by writing code. Now we have lots of graphical user interface tools as well. You must have shown like seen in the Azure workspace or AWS, but coding is required. Like that thing is for sure true that coding is required as part of changing your career into big data. And of course, there are lots of opportunities because data again is now getting generated a lot in each and every space, domain, company. So if you want to make this career shift, multiple things. First is, of course, the prerequisites, which we have been a lot after Python, SQL, and basics of database. So you understand that how data is created, it is saved, how you can query it using SQL, and one programming language at least through which you can write your logic. Now you cannot write your logic of transforming the data via SQL, right? So that is where Python comes into the picture. Now, once you have understand that okay, this is the flow, this is way data is coming to you, it is getting saved, and this is how you can get it. Now we have to make sure that we are understanding the basic concepts about big data. And many students have doubt what is the difference between data engineering and big data engineering. So a data engineer or anyone who is now handling lots of complexity in data size, in its formats, in its velocity, right? All these things. he's actually known as a big data engineer. So your tech stack takes a shift. Okay. So again, should have an idea or understanding that how you can change your data, move it from a place to place using Python. Then coming to big data, the way we have designed the whole curriculum of the course, you have to understand the basics, you have to understand the need, then distributed computing and little bit about networking, and then we should understand that how, when we are using some technology or writing code in, let's say, Spark or MapReduce, how the same is getting processed and stored across multiple computers in a cluster. Okay, so this understanding is very important because that is the base concept of big data. That is how big data gets handled. Okay, after that, again, there are many things in Spark, many things in Hadoop. Like, so Hadoop is the de facto in your handling of big data, like the technology which come into picture. It has many technologies inside it: HDFS, MapReduce, Hive. All these things you should have a very good idea. And then we will move forward to see what are the newer technologies through which these things are now getting handled. For example, HDFS, we now have Amazon S3, ADLS. You can use any of them. MapReduce, we have Spark, we have Storm, we have other libraries as well. That will also we will be covering. And finally, on your Hive, there is now concepts of lake house, data warehouse, data lake, all these things which have to do with working on data and storing is something you should be very much aware about. Post that, all the clouds, because now companies will be handling them majorly via cloud only. Okay, no company will be in the space where they will be handling it traditionally. Okay, like if they are not using any of these clouds, they would have made something similar in their company. Okay, and after that, once this is clear, you have to make sure that you do lots of projects. The same is required so that you can showcase that yes, not only do you know what happens inside big data, you have done the similar kind of a work. Okay, so the kind of an architecture which I was showing you, this above, this is one of an example where all these blocks, there are some technologies which are getting used. So if you are able to do all these things, then you can shift from a non-technical background to a big data or data engineering. It will require an effort, yes. It will surely be worth it as there are many technologies, many openings, and it's always a fun thing to learn if you will understand. If I will go by my experience, because every company need that, and you face a lots of challenge in these kind of problems. So that is going to be a proper roadmap if you want to make a career shift from a non-technical to a big data. You will have to learn coding. No out of that. Okay, so that is the major thing which I think anyone should do. Okay.
Okay, I'll just add one point over here. So whenever we are talking about career transition from non-technical roles to big data, see, one amazing thing about non-technical role is that they definitely have a huge amount of domain knowledge. So whenever we talk about domain knowledge with respect to any technologies or any use case that we are specifically working with, uh, these people will be quite amazing. Whenever we talk about data, they will specifically have knowledge with respect to the data and all. So with the help of them, you can just imagine how easy it will probably become to create a data pipeline if they are just technically sound with respect to all the tools and techniques, and along with the experience of working with cloud, right? So that is how easy it becomes. But again, for a non-technical people, what we feel is that coding is one kind of thing that they really need to be good at. Then the transition definitely will become much more easier. Without coding, as Mayank has already mentioned, without coding it will definitely be very difficult. So obviously some amount of time needs to be given specifically to crack this particular job in any industries, right? uh yeah, you can take any questions are there. I hope I'm also answering in the chat, Mayank.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
guess.
saying that only, sir. And one thing more to add to the sir point, everyone, that this domain knowledge is something which is very helpful. Like for example,
Mhm.
if you are working in say e-commerce company in a some non-technical role, still you will have many understandings, many things many learnings which you can easily apply when you, let's say, become a data engineer and then interview for these e-commerce companies. Because on the data, the way you work, these learnings are overall very helpful. That is the same with data science jobs and everything. So yeah, it's a good shift. Like, it is not something which is completely out of the picture. That domain knowledge is surely going to help you, because you will have the understanding of this data, right? Where this data will be coming, you will have a very good understanding. So yeah, that's a good shift if someone is thinking of that. Yes, sir. I think we can move to next question.
Yeah. Re-entering the job market, starting a career in big data after a career gap. Probably, see, many people are also asking about data science. So probably you can also. And one of the question was the differences between big data and data engineering. So, Mayank, would you like to probably take up this before we
Sure,
go
sure,
ahead and talk about the job market?
sure, sure. So everyone, I would like to explain that again using analogy only, because I think that is the best way of explaining it, right? Instead of going very technical, because this question is very basic as well. So if you remember, I explained you about about the data engineering, right? That how it is very analogous to building those pipelines, okay, where water is coming from multiple places, right? So let us see that quickly. Let's say we have water which is in rivers, okay. I have some water which is coming from a well, some from groundwater. Now we have these sources, and we can build a traditional kind of a pipeline as well. So let me just write it again. Okay. So till you are just able to handle them by traditional sources, and what I mean by traditional sources, let's say just your normal scripts, just your SQL DBs, your RDBMS, relational databases, till you are able to handle it the way it used to happen, like since long, right? That you can make these pipelines here, you can do some basic cleaning, you can maybe store it easily into some big tank, okay, all that is good. And then you can clean the data, make those pipelines, and again it is very simplified. Multiple steps are involved, and you get the clean water, which can then be used for irrigation, eating, drinking, all these things, like in, let's say, food. Now what will happen if, let's say, you have to handle lots of data, like the data is increasing in terms of volume, different variety, like let's say now the water which is coming, some of it is very dirty, some of it is clean, some of it is coming very quickly, like let's say it is raining a lot, so the overall speed has increased, okay, the with which you have to getting the water. A very relatable example, we build dams, right? So we build a very big dam so as to handle this huge inflow or handle very high volumes of data and everything, right? So if your data engineer was a normal pipeline builder, your big data engineer is a dam engineer who knows that, okay, how to handle and store and work on huge quantities of data. That is with respect to volume, velocity, variety. Okay, so these are normally V's which are used. Already I've created the video and we'll be explaining that. Okay, so when we have to now handle this all big water coming to us, of course, traditional methods will fail. You have to learn some new technologies. You might have to save that data across multiple, let's say, computers, multiple nodes. Like water, you have to have multiple places where it will get processed. And then finally, we will be using that. So the whole tech stack and technologies basically changes, right? And this is where the role of big data engineers comes into picture. So it's the next level to a data engineer. Another very easy example to understand, just like let's say we have a traditional restaurant, all is fine. You can have just two cooks and you can make food and deliver. But what if now, let's say, the overall customer base is increasing? You have to also make many dishes. That is where the whole process of fast food restaurants comes into picture. Now, McDonald's. it doesn't works in a traditional way. It has those pipelines in a way, like fries is getting made in a separate machine, patties are getting like hot in a separate machine, the overall buns or Pepsi, all these things are in a separate machines and have a separate pipelines which are working efficiently and are able to then quickly give you the result, that is the food. And doesn't matter how many students are there, how many, sorry, customers are there. Okay, so this is also a very easy analogy to understand the same. So from the last 7 or our last decade, majorly, the amount of data getting generated increased many folds. The variety, like we are initially just dealing with texts or some transactions, like some rows in the table. But now if you see, every day you are scrolling shorts, you are uploading videos, you are uploading photos. All these things are now something which company have to handle. Okay, so that is where the traditional technology failed and this big data technologies come into picture, and the person handling that is a big data engineer. The earlier one was a data engineer. So that is the easiest way I think I can explain and should be clear, I believe. So if anyone has doubt, let me know.
Why we require cloud instead of in-house storage?
Let me take that only. Abhishek, see what happens now. This also I'm telling from experience. Uh, if you are trying to make your own, let's say, in-house infra, right, that is going to be lot difficult. Okay, let's say if you start a company today, okay, if you plan that, hey, I have to create my own overall infrastructure. Okay, I will just have multiple machines. Okay, I will have these 5, 6, 8, 10 machines. Now, there are multiple things. Like, let's understand the problems which can happen. Okay, so we have to procure these machines. You have to power them. You have to get a, let's say, storage facility. Then you have to handle the temperature. You have to handle operating system, security, then updates. Okay, software installation. Then one very big thing, let's say you have a sale coming in. Let's say you have an e-commerce thing and you are working very nice. After 1 year, you have a sale, and you say, okay, in sale I will have many things. Okay, so I will be getting more orders. Let me increase these PCs. Okay, so great, they are all increased. And now after sale, you see that okay, all these are now not that much useful to me. Okay, you cannot just get rid of them. And if let's say there is a small storage, you will have to increase that. If there is any problem, you will have to own each and everything. If there is, let's say, any natural disaster, any overall spark or anything basically which just destroys your whole system, you have to make sure that you are making it a lot fault tolerant, very good in security, and you can scale in and scale out as well. Like let's say if you need more machines, till when will you be doing that? And on top of that, you are just a startup founder. So if you just think, major part of your work is going into handling all these things. You will be hiring a network software network, I would say, person who will do all these things, some admin or some administrator who will install each and everything, install those updates. If something goes out of version, then again you will face the issue, right? So at a company which majorly starts for a startup or something, their main work is not all these, right? So for them, it makes a lot of sense to go with cloud. Just go to AWS, say that, hey, I want these machines and get that and work on them and pay for what you're using. Okay. It's very akin again to buying an office and renting an office at a co working space. If you're just a startup founder, you majorly will be going for a co working. You will not be buying the full office because then again, all those overheads will come to you to make sure that it is clean, it is secure, it gets updated, it has all things in a proper manner, which is not your main work again. So this is the major reason why we go to cloud and not in house. That said, there are things or domains where we have to specifically go for in-house, and majorly big companies only do or can, in today's world honestly they will go for that. Goldman actually was using both the things. So they were having. So I have worked at Goldman Sachs. They were using their in cloud overall this infrastructure as well. Sorry, in house, and they were using cloud as well. Okay, so in house was majorly for the confidential data, which they cannot again have anyone else handle, and for development and other things, they were fine with cloud provider. Okay, so I hope this now gets cleared with you that why majorly we are going towards cloud and not in house. Okay, I think sorry, yeah, that was the question. Anyone, if any doubt is there, I think sir is very genuinely answering all of them. But yeah,
So we can take up the next question. I think re-entering the job market, starting a career in big data after a career gap.
so I think yeah, cool. So let us take this question, everyone. Re-entering the job market and starting a career in big data after a career gap. So multiple things again will be playing a role here. First, what role you were doing before you took a break. Second, what exactly have you done in your this break period? Like, were you actually starting a tech company? Were you maybe teaching? Were you maybe doing something related in tech or something related to an experience which company can use? Or were you traveling? Or were you just doing something totally unrelated? So all these things you have to be very much be ready to answer. That's the very first thing. Second is what role you had before. Now, if you are someone who was in totally unrelated field, like let's say maybe you're working in a bank or let's say totally unrelated to tech, then again it will be just entering, not re-entering. Okay, so that's something you have to understand because I have had cases where after college, 5 years, person has not done anything related to tech or job, and now he says that I want to enter the job, re-enter the job market. So that is the thing. Now, coming to starting a career in big data after a career gap, multiple facets again here that we have to make sure that we can explain why the break, what you did in the break, why now you are better than any person I can hire in the market who didn't take this break and is working on this. Like it's again a competitive world. I will not be like, okay, you took a break, let me only hire you. Okay, so there again the role of your knowledge comes into picture and your experience as well. If you are someone who had a very good experience, who have done something helpful in this break, and you are very good with your concepts, right? And again, in this course, we will be focusing on everything from scratch. Like you can see the syllabus as well, and that is one of the reason I think it will be helpful for anyone, even away from job market. But yes, you will have to work obviously twice as hard as someone who is in the job market in a similar field because from the lens of an interviewer, he just want to get a person who is the best fit for his company or his team to do the work. If you can show that yes, I took a break, but now I know things very much in deeply from basics. I know all the concepts, I have made projects, I have the required knowledge of cloud and make sure that I can start working on that. All these things if you handle, then it is going to be doable and honestly easy as well because again there are opportunities in the field of big data. So these are the things which you have to majorly handle, and along with that of course you have to make sure that if anyhow you can showcase that your previous experience was a lot helpful. Okay, so these things if you can handle, and they are not easy to handle again, we might have to sit, work on your CV, work on your answers, see how you will be presenting to the interviewer, and handling all these things, we should be good to re-enter as a big data engineer or in any big data related role. So this is the overall case. Let me know anyone if any question is there, but yeah, that is my view on this.
I think it is answered well.
Mm, I think I will share the links again because I might not have it. So yeah, this is the link where you can check the course, everyone, and this is the complete syllabus link. And also, I think we have some less seats left now, as sir have also told in the video, and I also been sharing in previous sessions which we are taking. This is not some course where we are having, let's say, 1,000, 1,500. And no, we have limited seats here. So if anyone is thinking of joining, and if you don't have any doubt, please make sure that you do that, because we might stop it. We might stop the new enrollments once we are reach the target. Okay, so let us see some questions if from the chat, if anything is there. Else, just one last question is left, which we can take on the job market and future prospects. Yes, word of wisdom, it is recorded. It will take at most 24 hours. So for any session which we take, any class which we are taking on weekends, after 24 hours, you can get the recording, like within 24 hours. Sorry. Okay. Sir, you're not audible if you're saying something. Okay, let me check. Everyone, are you able to hear Chris, sir? Or is it just from my end? Okay, let us just wait for Chris, sir, to fix it. Maybe some issues there, yeah. Cool, everyone. So keep your questions coming from the agenda. We just have the last question majorly, that what is the current job market and future prospects in big data. If anyone has any other question, feel free to ask them. Anything related to course, feel free to reach out to me or to the counseling team. I think Chris sir is himself asking a lot of questions, so that should give a lot of clarity. And yeah, I will just take a session in a couple of minutes. Abhishek, this course, see, this exact course will not be available in Udemy. Like that separate recording is going on. And Udemy will not be in a single course like all this which you are teaching. As we have mentioned, it will be spread across multiple courses due to sheer depth in the syllabus of big data. Okay, because doing it all in a single course will be not helpful or will not do the justice. It's a proper professional concepts. So yeah. Pritam, you are asking how to showcase data engineering projects in GitHub since they are mostly tool based. So, Pritam, what happened is that you can actually showcase your architectures and let's say Spark code and things, or even the scripts as well. Along with that, when you're giving interview, you can easily make the full architecture and explain that what are the different tools you have used. Along with that, what I normally suggest is always to create a project report for your all the projects which you do, where you can showcase the major part. And we will be doing these end-to-end project, which we will also see that how we are building this full thing, and those codes you can show. Okay, so even if it is tool based, you can explain what you did via tool, and you can explain that this was the code which was handling the same, and the project report will just encapsulate all of that so that it is easily presentable in any interview or anywhere, like even helpful for you to revise.
So, Mike, now am I audible?
Yes, sir. Now it's perfectly audible.
Okay, perfect. Are there any possibilities for non-tech guys preparing for government jobs with 6 to 7 years of gap can benefit from it? See, guys, usually this kind of scenarios becomes very difficult. I'm not saying that it is not possible, but there should be a specific path that probably everybody needs to follow it. This question have you taken, Mank? How to showcase data
Oh yes,
engineering
sir. I
projects
just
in
took
GitHub?
that. Yeah.
Yep. We will create any project report in the boot camp, Mank. You
Yes, so I was just answering that how to create. Let me just, I was writing the answer. So, Preetham,
yeah.
on that, we will be doing projects and I will show you examples that how can you create projects report for maybe a couple of projects. And then I think you should be more than enough. A project report is just writing that what all you have done, defining the problem, defining the solution mindset, and then what exactly you end up doing. So pretty straightforward it is, and we can yeah make for a project should be fine. You will get the idea.
So there was one more question. As an experienced iOS developer, is it a good choice for transitioning to the data engineering career?
Bandaram, you will have to first ask that to yourself, like how, why are you doing that shift? Second thing is that with respect to demand, yes, big data engineering is something which demand is increasing. Again, companies are having lots of data and they need people to handle it. But if you feel that, like, since being in iOS workspace, you will have some idea that how the overall technical things are flowing and on that. So if you want to maybe go into this field and then enhance your career towards data science or AI, it's a good field to enter because that will make your transition towards the AI and machine learning goals a lot easy. But if you don't yourself like the work again, that is then going to be difficult. But as a role, it's doable. There is no one stopping you for that. Okay.
So one question is that will you be teaching Scala?
No, Arjun, not at all. It is very least, like very less used in any company. Python is majorly used now. Second obvious choice can be Java, but honestly, the way things are flowing, you should be good with Python. And if it is required, you can, like, if you have a knowledge of Java, the concepts are going to be the same. And with overall chat gpt and other tools, I think it is very easy to write the code. So we will majorly be focusing on the concepts. Now if you want to write the code on Scala or Java or Python, totally on you, but we will be using Python in this course. Okay, let me see other questions. I think sir, no major
If
questions are there.
if data is coming outside from company third party vendor on which we need to move data on cloud, this all we can probably discuss once the course starts. Mayank, like let's talk about the current job market and future prospects in big data,
Yeah.
which will be our last question to probably take up. Maths will not be required, guys, unless and until you're doing a lot of analysis and data itself. But other than that, I think it's more about learning the process and tools and techniques.
Cool, everyone. So let us discuss on this last question: current job market and future prospects. Now, just to give you an idea, in the last 3 4 years, we have generated the data in like overall tech and everywhere. What we generated since the dawn of the time, right? So you can just understand that at what level companies are now generating the data, and you can understand that just by seeing around you as well. Like any company, even let's say if you are making a food delivering app, you need to have the reviews here, you have the photos things here. Let's say any other app, any social media app, you are dealing with each and everything, right? You can post a, like let's take LinkedIn, it has shorts now. You can post an image, you can post a text, like just a simple post. So data in terms of volume and everything is increasing. That thing is surely there, and that has actually accelerated a lot. Thanks to COVID as well, because when people stayed inside, like everyone was on internet, and again that also exploded the data creation. So along with that, now since we are moving a lot towards AI, and again the basic fuel of AI as well is data. So what happens is that every company now are looking to people who can handle this data. And along with that, one thing more you have to understand that this is some work which each and every company has to do. Now you will never listen about that because it's all getting done in backend, right? So any soft like many companies they hire as a software engineer, and in the end 60% of them are working on something related to these data pipelines. That was actually something which happened with me as well, right? I was hired at Goldman, and then I was presented projects where I was working on in the backend to make these data and then finally to be used in the software field. So the overall current job market is actually pretty good for big data field. Okay, there is no doubt in that. Considering the future prospects, there is a lot of increased demand because now again there are companies who, along with including AI, all the data they are generating, they want to make sense of it, they want to store it, and that is why you see this increased demand of data scientists, ML engineers, and all these. And this all as it forms a pipeline, which I showed you in the starting, there is an effect or overall increase in demand in the big data engineers as well. So this is something which is going to increase. I don't see it slowing down honestly because data getting produced is not slowing down. So companies will be needing them, and they need people. Like see, just yesterday, or I think it was today only, Databricks got 10 billion in funding. Like if I am not wrong, let me just quickly show you that as well. Databricks. Okay, so news. Like see, Databricks valued at 62 billion after 10 billion round. Okay, so just imagine 10 billion as a funding. And what does exactly Databricks do? Let us see. If I just go on Wikipedia. So it's a global data analytics and AI company founded by Apache Spark creators. The company provides cloud-based platform to help enterprise build, scale, and govern data and AI, of course, now, including Gen AI and other machine learning model. It pioneered data lakehouse. Okay, so data lakehouse is some concept which we are going to learn as well. Then data warehouse, like data lakehouse is a combination of data warehouse and data lake. So this should overall tell you that yes, if a company in this space is able to get this much funding, and it was yesterday, so there is a need, right? Like no one will be investing in a dying field. So Databricks again is a very awesome software. We are going to cover that in the course as well. But the basic idea through which I want to prove is that yes, there is a need. It's going to increase. Companies will be requiring awesome data engineers to handle, and I will be using data engineers and big data engineers like in a similar way. But yes, overall the job market is going to remain hot for data engineers, provided you know the basics and the tools through which you can do the project from end to end. So yeah, I think that this I think right now today is the biggest proof that yes, data in the field of data, there is a lots of scope as of now. So this delta, sorry, this thing, the lake warehouse, right? The data lake house and delta lake. So we'll be using this in by Azure. These are all the things which are there in this syllabus only. Okay, Databricks as a platform, it was created by Apache Spark, like the creators of Apache Sparks, something which we'll be using, right? And then Databricks as a tool also we will be using. So yeah, that I think should prove that data, big data in overall has a lots of demand in the future.
So, Mayank, would you like to take this question? How is career transition from automation to data engineering?
Yes, Anon, I would just like to understand what exactly you mean by automation here. That is going to be a lot
Automation
helpful.
basically means testing, Q&A
Oh, okay,
automation.
automation engineer in that way. Yeah. So let me take that, sir. Yes, sure. So let me quickly write it down. Automation or QA to data engineer. So again, see here the unknown. You will have an idea that how or in which process you are basically filling in the whole data sorry, in the whole software engineering. That is after everything gets done and you are testing that. So provided you have a good knowledge, and you should have that if you are in automation or QA, to check the software which is getting built. And in this, you basically end up checking that okay, if everything is working fine, so in data engineers also we can have QAs who are checking that is nothing is missed, you are getting all the data and everything. So you will have two things. The first is of course the technical knowledge. You will be writing some code, you will be having an idea, and you are falling in that pipeline of the development of your software, right, in the back end as well. Second is, of course, you will have some domain knowledge. Okay, yes, you must, sorry, you might not have built a software. Okay, and data engineering is a subfield of software engineering. You are building something, right? So, from that understanding, you will have to, of course, understand few things about how to build a software in the backend as well, like this backend engineering or data engineering. Here things are flowing in a sequence only. So you are currently in the last part of the sequence, right? You are in the end where you're just testing out things. You might have to go to the start, understand that okay, this is how things reaches you, and all these things which are coming in between you will have to understand, and along with that the basics of data engineering which we will be covering. So good experience with coding, and again make sure that you put in a lot of efforts, like at least 1.5 times the people who are in software engineer, anything related to software engineer. You should be able to make this switch, but yes, again you will have to understand these things and be able to explain in an interview that again why you are better. And yes, you know the things, you have now done the projects, and your experience as a QA is a boon overall, because now you know you will make less mistakes. So you can point that out that building those pipelines as a data engineer, I will be able to use my experience as a QA as well. So those things will be a lot helpful to you. And yeah, I think that should be the answer. Let me see the questions. Sir is attending a call, so no worries. Hope this course is most focused more on Databricks and Azure building pipelines from ADLS. Yes, Gautam, that is the case. Just one thing, we will be doing Spark in depth, which you can do on Databricks, so you will get that exposure. Spark is what people normally do in Databricks, right? So yes, Databricks will be covered in depth. For the projects and part, you will get an idea. We are going to upload a video covering an end-to-end project with using Azure, basically technologies. So yeah, that should be a lot helpful to you. Yes, Arjun. So, okay, sorry, sir. I think you're taking some question.
No, I was just highlighting similar things what are coming.
Well, I think I've answered this already. I don't know if I asked him for a little bit more idea, right?
So, is there any way to contribute to open source projects while we are doing the boot camp?
Preetham, I'm not really sure, honestly, that how companies like see, as I told, this is something which majorly happens in the backend. So honestly, I'm not sure how many companies open source this thing. You can, of course, contribute to any open source technology, like all these Apache tools are open source once you understand that. But from a company perspective, as I said, building all these data pipelines, that is the major thing which everyone is doing. And I have listened very less that someone has open source that. Maybe they have, but I feel that it will be very less, because again, this is something which is internal to company. And after this things happen, right, you have the data and everything, then you are maybe building an application on that, maybe a web app or a Android app or a iPhone app. Like you will get an idea, right? These are the things which you want to show, so how better you can show that. Okay, so let's say Zomato wants to show the restaurant, then if they want to show the price, then they want to show that card. So this data designs, or in a way command the design and then development. But any company in open source handling the big data, like these engineering pipelines, I'm very less aware of them. So yes, you can just contribute to the tools, but as a company in data pipelines, I think there are less opportunities, but you can search and even let me know. But that is what I know is true.
So Satish is saying, sir, my friend also trying to enroll, his admission closed. We just need to. Yes, right now we have some seats left. Satish, you can just go ahead and probably
Yes.
click on the link which is given in the pinned comment or description. You can go ahead and enroll it. Okay. You can use the coupon code Krish10 for the 10% discount also. Okay.
Let me share the link
Otherwise,
again.
yeah. Okay. Finally, I think, Mayank, I think we have covered almost all the questions. You can finally talk about the course again and quick reminder, and then we
Sure.
should be able to close it.
Cool.
And probably we are going to start this session from 21st. 21st will again be an introduction session. We'll keep it live in YouTube just to give you an idea about what things are there. But yeah, like anything at the end, like we can cover it up.
Sure. So, first of all, a great thanks everyone to Sir as well for coming and making sure that he's answering the questions himself. Now, I would just like to talk about the course only because we are going to start that day after tomorrow. So, this is the link which I've shared multiple times. If anyone has doubt, please feel free to reach out to me. Many people have reached out to me on LinkedIn and YouTube, honestly, on my comments of my videos, and I have answered them. You can also reach out to the counseling team. As we said that major focus is not to focus, but to not to focus on selling, but on helping you. Uh, I will be using my experience. So I have worked previously as Goldman Sachs, Mindtickle, Oyo Rooms, and I have a very good experience with technical side of things. And big data again, I have solved many things. So if anyone has is genuinely interested in understanding the basics, doing the projects, understanding each and every of these clouds which are used, please make sure that you're joining the course. The whole syllabus is there. I have took some live classes on Search Channel only in from the past 2 weeks, where I explained many things. We did a project as well, so you will get an idea that how the course is going to be. Soon we will be also putting up a video on a project, and as Sir said, the live class will also be on YouTube, so you will get an exposure via that as well. If you are really serious and will be putting in the time, more than happy, and I will be making sure that everything is very nicely taught to you based on my experience, based on my learnings. We'll share that and we'll make sure that we are able to make that career transitioning, which you all are hoping for, which you all are working towards. So yeah, I think that is all. As we have mentioned multiple times, classes starts on 21st, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. IST, each and every Saturday, Sunday. The course length is 5 to 7 months, though we will try if we can take extra classes, depending on the audience. Like if everyone is ready and all these things, we can try to complete it quickly as well. That should not be a problem because I understand like many times people are like, let us quickly complete and then do the projects and give the interviews. But yes, main focus in any course I take is from basics to make sure that you are able to transform your career in the long term. Like you learn this big data once and it is good for you for next 5 years. Like you will be able to understand things by learning yourself as well. So that is, I think, all. See you there in the course. And yeah, this is all. Let me just share the link last one time. So if anyone need that, should be good.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Mank, for taking this amazing session. I think we were able to answer most of the questions of the people. So guys, yes, finally, I would like to announce this. Now we're going to start it on 21st. Tomorrow, one more end-to-end project Mank has already recorded. I'll try to upload it in my channel on time. But from 21st, we will be having some amazing sessions starting from morning 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. But I hope your learning, your understanding from this past 1 week session was quite amazing related to big data. Many people had actually requested for this. So we are coming up with this specific batch. We are keeping this batch size very, very small, not that huge. Relatively, whenever I probably make other batches, it will be more than 1,000 people. But here we really wanted to focus on teaching people in a way uh, where they should be able to clearly make a big statement out there that you're working in multiple tools. And also the syllabus is quite in depth, so that is the reason we have kept the price a little bit higher, because we want to take less students, but obviously make that particular batch size a little bit expensive. But with respect to learning, don't worry, you'll be learning each and everything. You'll be having the best experience out there, right? Other than that, again, I would be definitely seeing you all on the introduction session that is going to happen on 21st. So thank you, Mank, for this amazing session. All the information regarding this will be given in the description of this particular video, how you can probably go ahead and attend it. And all along with that, we have also put up our counseling team number. So you can go ahead and contact them. And if you have any questions, you can let us know. Right? So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mank.
Thank you,
Anything
sir.
before we go ahead? You want to close? Give any closing statement so that
No, sir. I
we
think
can just.
just thanks to everyone for attending this, for attending multiple sessions which I have took, and the great feedback they have given me. And yeah, let's make sure that we start and quickly transform our career, and make sure then we learn a lot about data science and other things from Kiss videos as well. So yeah, let us meet on Saturday, everyone, and let's start your transition into a awesome big data engineer.
So Vinit says thanks for the wonderful insights and session to Krishnaik and Mayank Agarwal. Keep up good work, guys. Learn motivators. Thank you, guys. And yeah, so after the session, the recording will also be available. Doubt clearing will also be there. Each and everything will be there, right? So yeah, this is it from my side. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mayank. Thank you. We'll see you all in the session. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.